representative for Ward 7 of the East Bay Regional Park District, which is all of northern and eastern Contra Costa County, from Hercules to Brentwood. And I have the honor of being president of the board this past year. This is a wonderful occasion honoring the 10th anniversary of the opening and dedication of the Big Break Visitor Center at the Delta. And I want to thank you all for joining us this day. First off on our agenda is we're going to ask our Regional Interpretive and Recreation Service Manager. I got that title, Kevin. I always miss Kevin's title. Kevin Danstra, who will provide our Native American land acknowledgement for the morning. Kevin?
Thank you. I want to welcome you all to Big Break Regional Shoreline, which is located on the ancestral homeland of the Houlton Bay Miwok speaking people. One of our 73 East Bay regional parks. Our parks are located on the ancestral homeland of the Ohlone, Bay Miwok, and Delta2 people. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And Kevin will come back a little later in the program. I want to acknowledge and recognize my colleague on the board of directors, Beverly Lane, representing Ward 6. And a soon-to-be colleague, Olivia San Wong, who is to be the successor to Ann Wieskamp, who is, along with Beverly, retiring at the end of the year. And Kevin Roman, who was a city councilman from Oakley, was here. I think Kevin and his dog completed their walk and went home. So, speaker introductions, I'll hold off for a moment. I'd like to ask the supervising naturalist for Big Break, Wyatt Moore, to introduce Park District staff and our docents out here at Big Break.
All right, thank you, President Coffey. My name is Wyatt Moore. I'm the supervising naturalist here at Big Break Visitor Center at the Delta. And not only events like today, but all of our programming, whether it's for the public or for school programs or just connecting to the community and helping them connect to the natural and cultural resources of the space, is not possible without the staff that works so passionately within Big Break, within the Delta sector, and even within all of East Bay Regional Park District. So what I'd like to do is I'll call out your name, and if you could just give a quick wave, we really do want to acknowledge all of the work that you all put in every day here at the park. So we have Kelly. You want to stand up? Kelly. We have Mary. We have Alex in the back. We have Misty, Carlos, we have Miriam, we have Ed, Sandy, who am I missing? And Jessica, sorry Jessica, hi Jessica. So, what I like to tell people and what I've heard coming into this position is that Big Break is more of a community center than a visitor center or a museum or anything like that. And the real reason for that is for the passionate people of not only the local community here, but for the people who work in this space. And you can always come to Big Break and ask questions or share information with us or tell us your stories, and you'll be met with smiles and curiosity and kindness always. So, thank you so much to everyone who works here. I care about all of you deeply, and the only reason that Big Break is the way it is because of the current staff and the staff that has made this place special over the last 10 plus years. So, thank you.
Thank you, Wyatt. So this is a very special place for me. I spent a good deal of time, actually 15 years, almost every weekend, on Bethel Island. I had the benefit of my family owning a large houseboat that we used as a weekend home on Bethel Island. I think this was between my early teens and late 20s that I spent a large part of my life out here. I proposed to my wife on Bethel Island. How many years ago was that? 37 years ago. On that boat at Bethel Harbor, Bethel Island. And I learned to have a really deep appreciation of the delta, the serenity of the region, the open waters, open space, and very special habitat that is the California Delta. And we were ambassadors in 2012, Mila and I, volunteer ambassadors. It's like a docent at large program at the Park District. And our assignment was to act as greeters at the dedication ceremony 10 years ago, right here. So we were at these doors and greeting people as they came in, and we were able to show them around the visitor center. And to me, at that point in 2012, 10 years ago, it was the culmination of a vision that I had learned of and shared for many, many years. Probably in 1990s, there was a community leader. I don't know exactly which office he was in at the time, but he was advocating for the establishment of a Delta Science Center. This was Tom Torlakson, mid-90s maybe, and having this deep appreciation of the Delta that I had, I said, that is a fantastic, wonderful idea. So when this, not just this facility, but the whole park and the amphitheater down on the San Joaquin River over my shoulder opened, to me it was the culmination of Tom Torlakson's vision and my own deep, abiding interest in that vision. So it was a really exciting time when Mila and I were out here and helping dedicate this facility. It's 5,000 square feet. It was, as Tom envisioned, an environmental education center for interpretive programming, school programs serving East Contra Costa County residents with a focus on the Delta, its ecosystem, and its wildlife. And it was the first visitor center built by the Park District in 38 years. Results of the decades-long effort that Tom Torlakson launched. And it is truly, and I'm going to leave it to Tom to tell the story, but the story of community perseverance and partnership. I'm also extraordinarily pleased to see Mike Moran here. Because if you're going to talk about the Big Break Visitor Center, that is synonymous with Mike Moran. He was Wyatt is his successor. Mike was the supervising naturalist for this facility for years, since its opening, I believe, Mike. And Mila and I met Mike first in 2012 at that opening out here when we were serving as ambassadors. And that launched one of the most exciting relationships for me, especially when I came into the board position, to get to know and work with Mike Moran. Just yesterday, Mila and I were tabling for the Park District as park ambassadors out at an Oakley Health Fair. And a woman came up to us and she said, I'm a recently retired Oakley school teacher. And she proceeded to tell us all sorts of stories about Mike Moran. Yet, everywhere I've gone in East County during my tenure on this board of directors representing East County, Mike Moran seems to be a household name. It's just absolutely incredible. And there are so many people who were very disappointed when Mike got promoted, including me. But, that's the way things go. And I have no doubt that Wyatt is going to be a household name out here very shortly. Right before the pandemic, the last numbers I saw another 10,000 people, folks from these communities out here, mostly kids, another 10,000 attending just ordinary public programs out here. So 20,000 people in 2019 came through this facility. And Tom, I think that's what your vision was. I think we've succeeded, and we'll get back to that. They just had 124th graders here. Misty told me, I think, last week. And they're really happy about that. Imagine 124th graders. So I will shut off at that point for myself. But it is truly a very special place here. We have several speakers, and I'm going to call on Tom first, and then Haley, a representative of Congressman Mark Desaulniers, Elisa from Supervisor Diane Burns' office, and Gary Proust from Jerry McNerney's office. But Tom, how does one introduce Tom Torres? You can come up. I gotta do this. I've known you for decades, and you encompass that vision for this park and this visitor center. I think most importantly of his long resume is the one he and I shares, and that is we're both graduates of Cal Berkeley with BAs in history. You were a little before me at Berkeley. Antioch City Council, on to the Contra Costa Board of Supervisors, on to the State Assembly for 3 terms, I think, and State Senate for 2 terms. And ultimately, Tom became our California Superintendent of Public Instruction for close to 10 years, 9 years. He's known to this day mostly as an educator, as opposed to a political leader. But he was really both. And again, I hope you can tell us a little about this vision for the Delta Science Center that became this park and this facility. Tom.
Let's hear it again for the leader. Passionate advocate for the Delta. Thank you all for being here. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Beverly, good to see you here celebrating with us. And it's just amazing the distance we've come. It's been fantastic. 10 great years. 10 great years. And an incredible staff that's passionate, skilled, open hearts, open minds to make this truly a visitor center and to make all of the facilities and trails and park access key to turning people's lives around and giving them hope and confidence and inspiring them to do good in their own world and their own family and community and enjoy nature at the same time, which you do with the park facilities. So Colin, I appreciate your heartfelt leadership, your wise leadership, and we were talking before we started the program about all the trail connections. We know that trails connect people, they connect communities, they connect neighbors, and so Colin, thank you for following through, and Bev, on many of the ways to pull things together. There was a vision to connect the Central County Iron Horse Trail in the Martinez area, Lake, Pittsburgh, McAvoy Harbor, the Shorelines Park. Again, a vision of bringing all that together. This is also a delightful place for kids and the programs you put on. So I just want to say thank you to some of the staff that I've worked with, and then tell a little story about Misty and opossums. But first, to just say, say thank you to all of you here today. I think of Hewlett Hornbeck. Some of you remember him as Chief Acquisition Officer, and Bob Doyle. Two of the folks here today, Gary Proust and Dave Mason, did raft trips with me. enthused, and connected. And it's just terrific. The little story I have is recently my wife May, who's here also as an elected official for a park district and formerly an advisory member for East Bay Regional Park District group. We brought our grandkids here. They're 12 years old and 9 years old. And Misty taught them, this is a campfire program you have. It's just fabulous. The kids are so enthused. All the displays and the knowledgeable people that man the booth. It was just fantastic. Anyway, one of the skills they learned all about the opossum and other creatures of the Delta that make it so special. So she said, now, if you want to role play, you can. So be a possum. So they just disappeared. My two grandchildren they were down and out. And, that I think it was a strategy maybe that they were learning so they could get out of household chores or something like that. Just play dead. May, by the way, started the advocacy for the great Delta Trail, which Governor Schwarzenegger signed. And the vision is to connect those central and other parts of East County together with the Brentwood Oakley area, but eventually to go to Sacramento and Stockton with the Delta Danza Trail. And this is a key part of the system, is a key part of the vision. We wanted more waterfront access. A lot of people move to East Contra Costa and they commute to the Caldecott Tunnel or somewhere else. They miss the opportunity to really ground themselves here so well. So when students came to my class in Bay Point and West Pittsburgh, they didn't know the Great Pacific Flyway. They didn't know the great migrations of salmon and bass. They didn't know food webs, food chains, pH, turbidity. They didn't know the chemistry and the biology of the land. Pacifica High School is only like 1 mile from McAvoy Harbor. We were able to take a research vessel out, and it had stations on it. It was about a 40-foot boat. They named it the Crago after the Delta shrimp. And those students became enthused, became excited. We got out the microscopes and looked at the phytoplankton and the zooplankton. And I was having lunch with two friends here from the Oakley Sanitation District. And I was telling them the enthusiasm of the students when we got them on the research vessel and they collected water samples and recorded it. It was just a fantastic situation. We had lunch, and I shared this with Dwight Meadows and Lenny Myers. So you have a storyteller here, I know, who chronicles some of the interesting people and things that have happened. But Dwight and Lenny were in charge of all kinds of wetlands out here. The sanitation district effluent coming through the area and being treated. And we said, if we could take school groups on field trips here, what if we had an actual center that could be the hub of learning, and the hub of inspiring those students who didn't know the Delta, didn't know their own backyard even. How can we do that? So that's how the Delta idea became the Delta Visitor Center and the Delta Science Center came about. And we worked together to raise money to work with East Bay Parks. East Bay Park stepped up to be the strongest leader in this effort to bring a dream to reality and bring students' enthusiasm forward. The bills, by the way, besides Measure AA having 4 million for the Delta Trail, I specifically had the Science Center in 2 pieces of legislation. I'm just going to look here. One was Assembly Member and Speaker Antonio Villaraigosa from Los Angeles, and the other was Mike Machado from Lodi area. And so it was Proposition 12, Proposition 13, not the bad 13, but it was Proposition 13. We said, we need to really put this in the state bond issue. So I was billion dollars to start with, and then we did a second round 2 years later for another $2 billion. And so that's some of the early funding. Million. I wanted it to be billion, but it's million. It's million. So we came up with the idea for the center, and those $4 million became part of it. A planning process started with the representative from the Board of Supervisors. For about 2 or 3 years, it wasn't easy to find the location, to find the willing host or the willing seller for the land we were looking at, but it happened, and step by step it became a reality. So I just wanted to share those insights that I've experienced and how much I say thank you and really appreciate your day-to-day enthusiasm as staff members and community leaders, and keeping it alive, letting it grow and expand. In the master plan, there's an idea for an interpretive center, also in the West Pittsburgh area near McAvoy Harbor. East Bay Regional Park District is really helped by opening the Shorelines Park there and making it a more viable center. It's beautiful. How many people have been out to the Shorelines Park? Bay Point. Exactly. Bay Point Park. So, and how many were here 10 years ago? Great. Well, keep spreading the good word, and again, thank you so much for what you do day in and day out. Colin, keep up the strong leadership. You've got a great champion here for the Delta, for the great resources of California.
Thank you, Tom. Also, I was looking out among you for local officials, and I saw May, but I'm thinking May is Tom's partner. May Sedania Torlakson is a elected director of the Ambrose Park and Rec District. Let's recognize May in that capacity. Next is we're going to have a few words from Haley Solaris, who is from Congressman Mark DeSaulniers' office. Haley? And Mark, by the way, is a very strong and effective partner for the East Bay Regional Park District, and he is proving instrumental in our ability to open and develop the brand new Thurgood Marshall Regional Park, and we thank Mark for his efforts on that. Please welcome Haley.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Colin. I'm Haley Solaris. I'm a district representative for Congressman DeSaulniers' office, and I'm just going to read a letter on his behalf this morning. Dear friends, it is with great pride that I write to congratulate the East Bay Regional Park District on the 10-year anniversary of the Big Break Visitor Center. This is a wonderful milestone for our community to come together and celebrate. Since its creation, the Big Break Visitor Center has helped to educate residents about the Delta and local wildlife. Big Break Regional Shoreline provides community members with access to the Delta and open space for recreation. I am proud of the work East Bay Regional Park District has done to preserve our natural resources. I would like to extend my sincerest appreciation to everyone at the East Bay Regional Park District as we celebrate this milestone. Sincerely, Mark DeSaulniers, Member of Congress. And I just want to say thank you so much for everything that the East Bay Regional Park has done. I grew up in Oakley, so just seeing how it has grown and just seeing the center come to life has been really great for me personally. I remember when I was younger and it wasn't here and it was just the dock, and I just remember coming out and as a child, and so it's been great to see everything and see how it's grown. So thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Next, I want to introduce Elisa Robinson, who is a district representative for Contra Costa County Supervisor Diane Burgess, my predecessor on the Park District Board representing this area. And more importantly, Elisa is my representative on the Park Advisory Committee of the East Bay Regional Park District.
Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to be here on behalf of Supervisor Diane Burgess. I have a letter from her. Greetings, fellow park lovers. Please accept my sincere regrets that I can't be with you today to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Big Break Regional Park. I'm sending a fellow park lover and member of my staff, Elisa Robinson, who also serves on the East Bay Regional Park Advisory Committee. I appointed Elisa years ago while serving on the East Bay Regional Park District Board of Directors, and she has served also under the appointment of Director Colin Coffey. I know you are all in good hands. Big Break stands alone as a park. It provides all the best things you could hope for in a park. It provides you an entrance to Marsh Creek Trail if you want a nice walk or bike ride. The trails and pathways here in the park offer you a chance to be alone in nature and sit by the water. You can kayak, fish, or just take in a view of the king tides when they come rolling in. There are lots of ways to learn about the Delta as a place. The ecology, the critters, the history, the culture, and the economy are all a part of the learning experience here. School-aged children, scientists, politicians, and other folks come here to learn. This is a beautiful park that has given so much to so many. But Big Break has been even more these past 10 years. These buildings, meeting rooms, and classrooms have been a place for people with different points of views and levels of understanding of the Delta to get a chance to discuss ways to manage California's water resources. I can't help but hope that to stand on the map of the Delta and look out at the water gives one a better appreciation of this precious Delta. As an advocate of the Delta, working to make sure people recognize the Delta as a place, I can't think of a better place for people to visit. Okay, I'm going to try to stand this way, maybe a bit to the static. So, we have this wonderful setting, many different tools to communicate and learn, but there is one more piece that makes this place magical. The staff over the years, today and in the past, have always offered hospitality, enthusiasm, and on-the-ground knowledge that makes it all come together. The expertise and creativity that all these folks have contributed makes it the perfect package. The park staff developing programs and activities, the docents sharing their expertise and passion, the folks at the East Bay Regional Park District headquarters providing the materials and interpretive signs, the park rangers keeping the park in pristine condition, and the East Bay Regional Park District Police keeping an eye on things. And so many more folks a part of the magic. This is definitely a day to celebrate, to be grateful to all that recognize the need and the opportunity to put a park here. Congratulations on creating such a beautiful park and experience. I'm so grateful to have this park in my own backyard. Sincerely, Diane Burgess, County Supervisor, former East Bay Regional Park District Park Director, and local neighbor.
Thank you, Elisa. And I have the privilege of being able to work closely with Diane Burgess on issues of mutual interest to the Park District and Contra Costa County. We have a great partnership with Contra Costa County, developing these great regional parks and trails within Contra Costa. I want to introduce Gary Proust. Gary represents as a district representative for Congressman Jerry McNerney. We are sincerely disappointed that Jerry is retiring. He has been a great friend of the Park District, advocating for our various projects in East Contra Costa, and he will be sorely missed as one of our congressional representatives. Gary?
Well, good morning. It's a tremendous honor to be here on this occasion. I remember being here 10 years ago when they opened the Science Center, the Visitor Center. Congressman McNerney got involved in politics primarily as an agent to change the country to clean energy. And this is a big part of his motivation. In fact, he loves this place. He's a big science promoter in Congress. And the fact that people can come here and learn about this place. This place is, these wetlands, I've just learned recently, are the most efficient way to sequester carbon from the atmosphere, even better than trees. And also, this environment is a major factor in protecting our communities against climate change, against sea level rise. And restorations like this are going on in a lot of different places, both here around the Bay Area and in other parts of the country, other parts of the world. So it's really important. And the third leg of this is we've got houses right there that remind us of what's at stake, about working with nature rather than against nature, both in protecting our communities, also in protecting our water supplies. And this Science Center is a great place for people to come and learn how all that works and learn the consequences of their actions, how important these environments are to protect, how it's directly related to them. They're not separate from nature. None of us is separate from nature. We're all part of it. So it's an honor to be here to help celebrate this 10th anniversary, especially having worked for Tom Torlickson. And when this was a major priority for him. And I remember he talked about this a lot. I was more involved on the transportation side, but I remember that this was a major issue for him. So I congratulate you on this. I didn't get to see you before on this, so this is a great accomplishment for you. So I'd like to present a certificate of special congressional recognition to the East Bay Regional Parks District in recognition of the 10th anniversary of the Big Break Visitor Center. I applaud your commitment and dedication to the members of our community. October 16, 2022, Jerry McNerney, Member of Congress. So come on up. And by the way, the Congressman really does love this place. I expect him to come again many times in his retirement. So we got pictures.
And we'll leave this with Wyatt to have here at the Visitor Center. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you, Gary. Jerry and his wife are known to just show up here and walk around the park. They are truly enamored with it, and we no doubt will see him in the future out here. All right, lastly, I introduced Kevin earlier. Kevin, again, is the Park District's Regional Interpretive and Recreation Services Manager. He oversees Ardenwood Historic Farms, our park in Fremont, Black Diamond Mines and the Visitor Center there, Delval Visitor Center, Sunol Visitor Center, and Big Break Visitor Center. And to talk about this visitor center, its operations, and some of its history, I give you Kevin Danstrom.
In 2009, I arrived in California, having made one of the better decisions in my life of following my wife out here when she accepted a new position. And when I arrived out here, I was hired by East Bay Regional Park District at Black Diamond Mines. Had the opportunity to work in that office with Tracy and with Mike, and very quickly got to learn about California's Delta. Growing up on the East Coast, the whole concept of the Delta was fascinating. The idea that California moves water as far as it does, and that it connects so many different parts of the state in truly strange ways through water. And I had a chance to work with Mike to come out and work with local schools, to lead boat trips out onto the Delta, to be involved out here as what is now the Big Break Visitor Center got built. And to really embrace and understand this idea that you've heard from so many people speaking today, that this isn't just a visitor center, that this isn't just an environmental education center. It's all about the community. And one of the things that I find amazing about that is that the definition of community here at Big Break is ever expanding. Today, we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary, and it reminds me so much of 10 years ago when we have groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings, and while we're giving speeches and listening to the official things that are happening, if you listen behind you, you can hear kids playing. not only a place for families. It's not only a place for politicians. It's not only a place for policy. It's not only a place for Oakley or for East Bay, but our definition of what community continues to grow. And it's a place where people with different views have always been encouraged to come and discover the Delta and discover what it means to them. When I started working with Mike, he drove into my head that it is not our place to tell people what they think. It is our place to give them the information that they need to make the best choices and decisions that they can. That to me is the legacy of what Big Break is and the community that we serve. It has been great to hear from all of you, to see some of you that I haven't seen in years. And I also know that I'm standing between us and getting towards the end of the program, so I'm going to keep my words brief. But thank you all very much again for coming out today. I look forward to seeing you all again soon and seeing where Big Break and the community will take us in the future.
Thank you, Kevin. And thank all of you for coming out today. We're going to celebrate with a 10-year-old's cake over on the back.
The cake is not 10 years old. We just got it this morning.
Well, it's a fresh cake designed for a 10-year-old. And take some photos. And my last thought is, if you have not been down to the shoreline segment of this park, down on the San Joaquin River, there's an amphitheater. There is a huge Delta relief mat that takes up a whole patio, and the dock and the pier. And this, to me, was also a fundamental part. This setting right on the river, a fundamental part of the Tom Torokson vision for a Delta Science Center in this region. And it's truly, together with the facility itself, makes this a regional destination on the Delta. So thank you all for coming out, and let's have cake.